Hey, Shalom Akim, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash, honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Great Mission rule well, and to the Akim tribe, the falcons of the earth, preaching the gospel of Hamakshah, Yahushai, in sincerity and truth. This is Brother Menashe DC Camp. Another update, regarding the plantation, man. So you just have to be cognizant of the hell that our people are catching, man, because being in captivity is bitter. So you just have to be, of that mindset of waiting upon the Lord to get you out of the situation you're in. So always remember, man, we're only here for a little while, and you have to endure on to the end. So you see the headline of the article on the screen. It says Amazon reportedly requiring 10-hour overnight shifts for some workers, and that's hard. I've been through situations where I had to do a double shift, man, all because you know the plantation gets short-staffed, and it's happened to me several times, and you have to understand the reason why the Lord put us in these captivities for us to learn the lesson of righteousness versus evil. Okay, and you're able to grow in the spirit. That's what wisdom allows you to do, to grow in the spirit. So you don't get short-sighted and think that this is the way to live. Okay, this is not our rest. So you have to understand, chasing that paycheck is not going to be helpful to you in the long run, especially when the Lord Hamashiach Yahushua is on his way. So it says the graveyard shifts are known internally as mega cycle shifts, all right, meant to boost efficiency. Okay, so it's not easy, man. That's why it's really, really, really important to learn the reason why we're in this captivity. All right, so we can learn the lessons, that the Lord Hamashiach Yahushua set before us, the ups and downs of our people. All right, so we're almost out of here. So it's just preparing you for the difficult times that's coming ahead. So you have to learn how to soldier through this, man. You understand you have to endure all sorts of abuse and insults. All right, just because, hey, the Lord put you in that situation, to get rebuked, to get tested, to get built up, because, you know, this society wasn't really meant for our people to make it anyway. So there's nothing set here for us to prosper. That's why we put our trust in the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai, and we put our focus on this doctrine. All right, so when you read the article some more, it says Amazon recently told workers at its DCH1 warehouse in Chicago they had to take 10-hour overnight shifts as a new warehouse or at a new warehouse or risk losing their jobs, according to a new report from Motherboard. Yeah, so you're not really gonna hear this news on Bloomberg, man, in detail, man. Amazon's not gonna tell you the reason what's going on, you know. So it just shows you how desperate they are to keep their business rolling. And when you see this, you realize that the Lord, is just looking upon the face of the earth, and he sees the oppression of our people. Just like when our people were in the land of Egypt, they cried unto the Lord, and the Lord heard their cry, and he sent he sent a savior. Sent Moses to them. All right. So in this day and age, Akim, you just have to know, man, what Moses did is also what you're doing, letting our people know what they have to be about to get out of this captivity, to be delivered, all right, to receive salvation, all right, just to keep that brief. So you have to be so it says the shift known as megacycle shifts typically begin around 1 a.m. and end around lunchtime. All right. So from 1 a.m. in the morning, all right, after midnight, till around 11 a.m. All right, that's lunchtime. That's when folks are out there standing by the food truck. That's when folks are ordering stuff, to eat. You see them going back and forth to their offices and all that stuff. You see delivery drivers carrying, crates and pushing, all types of food up and drinks to people in their offices. So you just have to accept, man, that that's Babylon for you, man. You're working all odd hours. The Lord tells you when you need to work and when you need to stop working. Yeah, so it tells you from sun up to sundown. And when do you need to get paid? As soon as the sun is about to go down, you should get your wages in your hand. And that's one thing Esau never really, really wants to delve into. The laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. All right, that's why the world is angry. That's why people are protesting because of unjust decrees. All right. So I'm going to read from the book of Proverbs. All right, chapter 13. All right. This is what the Lord tells you about His law when you hold on to it. It says, Proverbs chapter 13, verse 14, the law of the wise is a fountain of life to depart from the snares of death. All right. I read it again. The law of the wise is a fountain of life to depart from the snares of death. Okay. So you have to be aware of why the Lord Yahweh Shai gave us this knowledge, so that you would not have to be, dealing with this nonsense of Babylon. But ever since our people went off, ever since our whole nation, the nation of Israel, began to be experts in iniquity, the Lord had to send us into captivity and let our people be massacred and be used as guinea pigs for experiments, and let all types of abomination befall our people. So we have to know that, man, that the snares of the devil is really plaguing our people so bad. And that's how it is on the plantation. You have to deal with unrighteous decrees, unrighteous policies, because that's what you have to experience when you're dealing with an unrighteous nation ruling over you. Okay, so you have to be aware, man, of why the Lord set an evil nation over our people to rule them with vigor. All right, just like the Egyptians did to our people, and it's an experience, it's a journey you have to go through. So the book of Exodus chapter 23, it tells you certain things that you have to take note of, right? What you have to take into account as per employment. It tells you, Exodus 23 verse 12, 6 days thou shalt do thy work, and on the seventh day thou shalt rest. All right. But what's going on in Babylon? Folks are working 7 days a week just to make ends meet. And the laws in the book makes it hard for people, to plead their cause. And that's why there's so much anger and frustration. That's why, our people are stuck in jailhouses, man. They're strung out on drugs, families torn apart. Why? Because the laws of the Lord are not being held onto, and the laws of the Lord are not held in high regard. That's why you have protests. That's why you have activists. That's why there's never ending complaints online, people just vexing and venting all day long. And then it says in so the next line says that an ox and thine ass may rest. So your animals need to be resting too, you know, and the son of thine handmaid and the stranger may be refreshed. All right. So that's what it is, man. It's simple. You do your work. You got 6 days. The animals your animals got 6 days. Your birds got 6 days, and your so-called employees of the other nations, they all got 6 days. That's the standard the Lord set. But Esau's open 7 days a week. Round the clock, 365 days a year. So you can imagine how that angers the Lord. To see people just working 7 days a week, round the clock, operating the business 7 days a week. It's an insult to the Lord. So what do you think the Lord is going to do? He has to crush that system of, of business. He has to crush that empire, all right? And that's the empire of Esau, all right? Because when the Lord gets rid of Esau's rulership, and sets up Yahushai to rule over the earth in righteousness and in truth, there'll be no madness like this anymore of people, walking around the clock, 7 days a week. All right, that's not how the Lord expected things to be. Okay, so Book of Sirach, chapter 35. You read from 13 to 15. All right, it says he will not, this is what the Lord says. The Lord says he will not accept any person against the poor man, but will hear the prayer of the oppressed. So when you see our people going through these difficult times, working on the plantation, don't you know that the Lord is hearing their cry? When you know that there is no transportation that runs at a certain time, how are you going to get there? And it's just putting our people in a difficult spot. And, people just got to quit and go do something else because there's no option. The jobs are basically limited and they're brutal on the person's mindset. That's the reason why the Lord tells our people that once the sun goes down, you have to shut it down. Leave the drama alone. You should go reboot. Okay, and that's it's good for your spirit. It's good for your psychological well-being. And that's one thing Esau refuses to honor. All right, he just wants to let the people just work against the cycle that the Lord has set in place. All right, so it says the warehouse has different shifts. It says it has an 8-hour overnight shift, a 5-hour morning shift, and or a 4-hour morning shift. All right. So if you read the article and go online, it tells you, man, what you have to deal with. It tells the experiences of our people, and you just have to understand, man. Ever since businesses have been pushed to a corner, talking about small businesses that have been shut down, they've been put in a tight, grip. All these big box stores have been able to increase their revenue, increase their wealth. So that's what you call favoritism. That's what you call staring. All right. So it doesn't matter how hard Esau tries to sell it to our people to try to make it look reasonable. It still vexes the Lord. All right. So I'm not even gonna read the article too much, man. Okay, let me see if find some more. So it says this is what the spokesman of the spokeswoman of Amazon says. She says we're excited to have recently launched 3 new next generation stations for for DCH1 employees where they can continue to work and grow as an integral part of the Amazon team in state-of-art facilities. That's what Crowcroft says. But at the end of the day, there's still people, still running a business 7 days a week. So what do you think the Lord is going to do? He's going to have to shut it down. And that's why all hell's about to break loose on the face of the earth. So this is just a tip of the iceberg of why the Lord is going to make certain things happen. Okay? So 14 says, He would not despise the supplication of the fatherless, nor the widow when she poureth out her complaint. So when you see how people complain to the Lord day and night, always remember, payback is on the way. So when things happen to these, these rich folks, their so-called, partners or whatever, their family members, always remember it's the Lord just visiting them. All right. Then verse 15 says, "Do not the tears run down the widow's cheeks, and is not her cry against him that caused them to fall?" Yeah, so what do you think? How do you think the Lord feels about that? So that's why the Lord is angry with the wicked every day. You could get so many precepts, man, to talk about this topic of oppression. All right. And the scripture tells you about what oppression does to a wise man. Okay, so you have to be very, very cautious in those last days, man, of the frustration of our people, of why they lash out. Okay, of why they just go along and they go after the pipe, you know. So the book of Proverbs chapter 22 verses 22 and 23 says, "Rob not the poor because he is poor, neither oppress the afflicted in the gates." And that's Babylon for you. That's how America was set up. Oppression of the poor and robbery of the poor. Esau can't live without it because he knows that he has to be ahead of the game. And by him doing that, he's vexing the Lord. Okay, because Esau wants to be on top. He doesn't want to lose his rulership. He doesn't want to have a balanced and just society. And that's what weakness does to people when they decide to stray away from the law of the Lord. Hamashiach Yahushai. What you get is the rulership of an Edomite, being the ultimate tyrant. Okay, so verse 23 says, "For the Lord will plead their cause and spoil the soul of those that spoil them." And that's balance, you can't deny that, so that's what you call revenge, that's what you call repercussion, that's what you call the righteous indignation of the Lord. And that's why, these elites, man, they're pushing YouTube to go after brothers' channels for talking about things like this. And the deeper you dig, the more you realize how messed up the society is, okay? So one more precept from the book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 11. It says, "And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible." Yeah, that's how the Lord is going to, operate very, very soon. He's coming for a specific, for a specific nation, the nation of Esau. All right, because they are, they've been scheduled for extermination, man. The Lord tells you about the rewards, for violating His law, statutes, and commandments. It tells you, it tells you what the judgment is, and these Edomites have they've embraced the path of violations that leads them onto death. Okay, total extermination. That's exactly why they are, they're upset in these last days, because they know that kingdom is coming to an end, and they holding on to the weapons. They're not really holding on to the word of the Lord. So that's one thing. You see how the Lord's revealing them in these last days. All right. So you have to understand, man, the pride of Esau, man, would not let him reverence the Lord. Okay, because Esau doesn't want a fair shake. He doesn't want to see the people prosper. He doesn't want to see the people exalt the name of the Lord. That's why he's coming against the gospel of Mashiach Yahushai. All right. And then final precept, Baba Ratiza, just for this short video, this short lesson. So it's from the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 25. So it tells you, my children, suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from the Most High Yahweh. Ba'ashimashai, Ba'ashimakwakadash. For thine enemy hath persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction, and shalt tread upon his neck. And that's the promise from the Lord. Okay? So there's nothing that, the so-called churches, can tell, our people waiting upon the Lord. There's nothing they could tell them otherwise to distract them from what the Lord has set in motion. All right, because the Lord is coming back to wreak havoc on the earth, and is coming back to repay the wicked for the oppression of his people, for the blasphemy, for the shedding of blood. And wow, it's gonna be terrible, man. When you think you've seen it all concerning the judgments of the Lord, you'll be surprised what the Lord is gonna do in these last days. All right, so the Lord is coming back, man. That's why I'm praying. Lord, have mercy on Akim out there in the highways and byways. That brothers learn to maintain their composure, and the Spirit of the Lord, dwells with you, because seeing the oppression of your people make you, get, get overzealous, man. Just like, Moses was pissed off, man, that he had to kill the Egyptian for oppressing his fellow Israelite. You have to hold on. Okay, you have to hold on and let the Lord, take care of your situation for you. So that's the point there, Akim. Don't get overly angry or vexed. Your salvation's on the way, man. Because you think about it, man, of all the hell your family, your people had to go through, and you see the light at the end of the tunnel. So always remember, man, the same folks that made you work cruel and unusual hours, that made your life miserable, these are the same people that will be working for you in the kingdom. So that's the point there. I can hope you've been edified, and just wait upon the Lord. Shalom.